My buddy Carla calls me creepy. She made me a label for my laptop and it says creepy on it. I don't know anything about business. I know a little bit about bourbon, but I don't do either for my line of work. I do scientistry stuff.
You do. You know what it was. It was $2 damn. $2.
You were always a little arrogant. Let's just put it that way. Because I'll be honest with you, all of my friends thought you were a complete douchebag when I first met you.
The lesson that I learned in that is, first of all, we have to be receptive to the people that are around us and love us, that care about us the most. The right people in your life and support system that can check you. Welcome back to Business and Bourbon, where we have real talk with real people. I'm Ronell Richards, the creator and your host. Well, we've reached our season 1 finale. And what an amazing season it's been. First I want to thank all of our guests for really bringing their A game and being authentic and real, giving some great advice to our audience and sharing their authentic stories. Secondly, I want to thank you, the listener. Man, we've received such great feedback through social media and tremendous ratings on all of the podcast platforms. And I want to thank you guys for that support. It really means a lot. Well, we've spent the season talking to some great entrepreneurs and business professionals about their stories and their journeys. But you know what? We haven't spoken to anyone that helps hold those people down. Those of us that are entrepreneurs and business professionals that are striving for success on a daily basis have people that are part of our team that support us. They support us through those lows and through those highs. So I brought someone onto the show today that does that for me. I think you guys are going to like her. So with that said, I want you to go ahead and grab your glass, grab your mug, grab your cup, whatever it is that you like to drink out of. Pour your very favorite beverage in there one more time this season. Sit down with us here at the bar and enjoy a little business and bourbon. Welcome back to Business and Bourbon, where we have real talk with real people. It has been an amazing season 1. I've just had some fantastic guests and some folks that have really brought their A game and burned it up. And I'm just so grateful for the people that have participated in season 1. And it only gets better from here, folks. But I got to tell you, I'm a little biased on this one. But after all of the great guests that we've had and all the great truths that they've shared, I'm going to take it to a whole nother level. We've talked a lot about entrepreneurship. We've talked a lot about business professionals and our challenges, right? And how hard it is to be an A-type personality and to be, a go-getter and go out there and make it happen, right? All of the stress, all of the responsibility that comes with that. But you know what we haven't talked about? The other people that are part of that team. I've got somebody really special I'm going to introduce you guys to today that is part of my team. What's your name over there?
Melanie Richards.
What?
Melanie Richards.
Oh, guys, I have invited for our season finale my wife of how many decades now? Centuries?
Too many decades.
It's been a long
21 years.
21 long
in March.
Yes.
March 21st was our 21st.
And what do we say? And we're still together.
Still together. That's right.
So, we've talked about, as entrepreneurs and business professionals, the challenges that we face. But what we haven't talked about yet is our loved ones and our support system and what they're doing to help us to be successful and to hold us down. They see us when we're at our highest, and they see us when we're at our lowest. So I've invited my wife on today, and it's going to get real personal. It's going to get real. But before it gets there, we have to talk. This is Business and Bourbon. So in Business and Bourbon, we always talk about what we're drinking first, and there's no exception here. Melly, what are you drinking?
Well, this is Business and Bourbon, and I'm drinking beer. So I'm drinking a French Saison from Six Bridges Brewery here in lovely Johns Creek,
Georgia.
It's
yeah.
quite light.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
It's delicious.
Yes.
So here's the thing. If mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. So you guys know we usually do bourbon or spirits, but my wife likes beer, so we're having beer today on Business and Bourbon. So we're going to call it Triple B today. Business, bourbon,
And beer.
And beer. I like that.
Beer.
Just for today. So, hey, just to introduce my audience to my lovely bride here, why don't you share with the audience what you do for a living?
Well, I am a chemist for a living. I work for a pharmaceutical company, and I am an analytical chemist. I develop analytical methods.
Oh, I'm falling asleep already.
Yeah, so it's quite boring. I don't know anything about business. I know a little bit about bourbon, but I don't do either for my line of work. I do scientistry stuff.
You do I do science.
Scientistry.
You know what I thought
stuff.
would be really cool? Why don't we share with the audience the worst first date in human history? What do you think?
Okay, well, geez. That's in the back of my mind.
I don't even know how the hell we
even.
even got married. I mean, after that date. So let's share with the audience our very first date, okay? And why I call you $2.
Why?
Why I call you $2 to this day. So our very first date. First of all, honey, where did we meet? You want to share it with people? Where did we meet?
We met at Dillard's department store.
You were making good use of that degree in science at the time.
Yes.
What were you
I
doing?
had recently graduated, and I was, at that time, an aspiring physician, and was kind of studying to take the MCAT, and I was a store auditor at Dillard's.
Yeah.
And we met because, I saw you come up to the customer service desk, and you made a payment of, was it like $30, and your balance was like $1,000?
Probably.
I thought, wow, this dude is cheap, like $30, really?
I was rolling.
Yeah, but you were cute.
Yeah, that's about it. I wasn't rolling. I wasn't. And $30 on a probably $1,000 bill, which was probably 3 months behind. I don't know.
Probably, but
Okay, this is a long time ago, but
Yep.
So anyway, that's how we first became acquainted. So I asked you out on a date, and our first date, we were going to a movie, right?
yes.
Yeah. So we were going to a movie, and I picked her up, met your mom, right? Picked her up, and we were headed to the movie, but we had some time before the movie, so we said, hey, you know what? Let's go. We're both into music, so we stopped at Blockbuster Music,
Yep.
right? And for millennials, yeah, that's
They sell CDs, or they sold CDs.
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 That was how will we explain that? That is like Apple and Spotify in physical form.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Something actually tangible. Anyway, so we decided to go there before because we're going to be early, and so we went to the Blockbuster Music to look at CDs, and the winner over here lost his wallet somehow, right? Like I lost my wallet, and so we pulled into a gas station after visiting the Blockbuster to look at the CDs, and where I needed some gas. We thought, hey, you know what? Let's get a couple of
Well,
snacks.
you
What'd I
forgot
forget?
another thing.
What?
You initially lost your sunglasses.
Oh, okay. It was the sunglasses, and for 19-year-old Ronell, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we pulled into the gas station, right? Because we were going to do how we do, and we still do. Get some snacks and some foods and stuff, and you had a nice big purse, right, to put snacks and stuff
and
in.
treats. Snacks and treats.
Like you always do, and like
yeah.
we still do. And we pulled up, and I realized, oh my God, I have lost my wallet. And so this is first date, guys. So I lost my wallet, and so we drive back to Blockbuster, right? Wallet's gone, the sunglasses are gone. I got nothing. This is the first date. So on the first date, oh yeah, and I'm on E.
Yes.
I'm on E.
Pick me up with no gas.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't have much back then, but potential. So at that point, I said, okay, I've got to ask this young lady here to loan me some money so that I can get gas. This is on the first date. So I ask you for money, right? If you have some money, you can help me with some gas, just until we drive to my parents' home where I was going to reimburse you, right?
Right.
How much money you have?
I think it was either $2 or $3.
You know what it was. It was $2 damn. $2.
I think it was $3.
Who goes on a date with $2?
This gal.
So, so I borrowed her $2
Why would I need more than $2?
because you are a modern woman, and modern women
I was
pay for
broke.
their own self.
Okay, I was broke.
Obviously,
I was young and broke.
had a degree in science, and you're working at Dillard's. I'm just saying. So, okay, so we had figured out that we had left the gas station at that point, and we were headed to another gas station with the $2 that you had loaned me, with the money bags over here had loaned me. We pulled up to the gas station, and what happened?
And the city had a blackout.
It was crazy. Every single light went out, dead. So we're sitting at this gas station. I'm on E. I've borrowed $2 from a young lady who's now her eye is beginning to get red and bulge. Can you tell me about that?
Well, it was springtime in Utah, and the pollen was out, and my eyes started popping out of my head. It was red and
it was gross.
Bloodshot, and
It was gross.
I needed ice for my eye because
Yeah.
it looked like somebody punched me in the eye.
It did. It was bad.
And we were stuck because this whole town had blacked out.
Yes.
And so we were stuck at a gas pump,
Yes.
unable to pump the $2 worth of gas.
Two broke people.
Eye getting more swollen by the moment.
Yep. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah, and
And so finally, the power comes back on at some point, and I go in there and pump. This is at a time when actually $2 worth of gas was more
like,
than
what,
just like
50 cents
3
a gallon
seconds.
or
It wasn't that. Come on,
It was probably
we're not
60,
that old.
70 cents a gallon. Okay.
Okay.
It was less than
like
$1.
$1.
It was probably less than $1. It was probably closer to...
Okay, so we got like 2.5 gallons of gas. And so then I proceeded. This is first, guys, remember, first date. So now we drive to my parents' home because I have to reimburse her the $2 that this broke lady over here had loaned me. So we get to my house, my parents' house, and my father's there. And I go up to my dad and say, "Hey, Dad, I'm on this date, and I lost my wallet. Can I borrow $2 to pay $2?" My father did not want to give me $2. He was not trying to give me $2. I don't know why. It was a moment like, for those of you that have seen Friday, it was like my father turned into Craig's dad. He said, "I'm not giving you." He was not going to give me $2. So I begged this man for $2. He gave me $2. I went and gave you your $2 back, took you home, and that was a wrap. So how the hell have we been married for 21 years?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Other than I think that there was something at that point where we decided, hey, look, we're both fighters and we're going to fight through this. So consequently, we had dates after that, obviously, and it was awesome. And here we are a gazillion years later, and there is our story. So that said, now we want to get into the meat. So it's time to take a drink. This is what we do. Take your drink. Pause for the drink. All right, so, the reason why I invited you to the podcast today is I really want to talk about some of the challenges that we face as it relates to business and entrepreneurship. And, when we started the podcast, you had said something that was pretty profound. You're like, I don't know much about business, right? And part of that is on purpose. You are the analytical person. You are kind of to play it safe, right? Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm not. And so for the first 13, 14, 15 years of entrepreneurship, I largely kept everything to myself. So all the ups, the downs, that was on my shoulders, and I didn't share any of that at all. And so, as once I hit like that 14, 15 year mark, I hit a wall. I hit a wall, and it was very humbling. And I found out that I wasn't Superman. But I want to know, for you, having me kind of be, and I don't want this to sound like I don't think I am a superhero or anything, but to have me be a Superman for essentially for 14, 15 years, where I'm taking everything on. You don't really know any of that stuff's going on, and then to see kind of my own break, or the break and chink in that armor. What was that like for you?
Well, obviously it was difficult to watch you go through that time. Realized our lives were changing a little bit, I guess financially. And, I kind of saw you were really stressed out a lot. You and I think we kind of were butting heads at that time a little bit, just because I think you were under so much pressure. And obviously you were holding a lot back. I didn't realize how, I guess, serious the issue was, with your business and all the things that you were going through. But I had confidence and faith in you. That never really wavered. I felt like you had weathered several storms in the past, just like when you first started. You struggled the first couple of years that you started your business, but you're very resilient. You're very strong, and I think I'm strong, and so I tried to do my best to support us and provide and do what I had to do, and that's the same way I felt in this situation, I think. So,
and I think that's an excellent point that you bring up, something that I felt, and I think that other entrepreneurs and other type A's like me, we underestimate our loved ones, and I underestimated you. That's part of the reason why I took all of that on my shoulders for so long, is that I honestly didn't feel like you could handle it, right? And because you process things differently than I process things. So what I came to learn through that experience, and through the help of my extended support system, my parents, my therapist, shout out to Dr. Rocky, is that I needed to trust you more and understand that, maybe you had the ability to handle something. So I did. And, what I've learned through that is you're much stronger than I am, really. And I mean that sincerely. So the lesson for me, and the lesson for folks that are listening out there, is that we take all this stuff on us, and at some point you're going to hit a breaking point. It just is what it is, because our bodies and our brains are built in a certain way to only take so much, and once you hit that breaking point, something's going to break. And so I think that we need to have people around us that we trust, and whether it's a spouse, whether it is extended family, whether it is a partner, whatever it is, that where you can share some of these things with, so that you don't have that burden all on yourself, because at some point you're going to break. Babe, tell the audience, from your perspective, having been there to kind of help and support me through these, all of those things, what advice do you have for other folks that are in a support? Because a lot of people are listening, they're in support roles of, entrepreneurs. And what advice would you have for them in terms of how to deal with assholes like us?
Well, first of all, I agree with that. You are an asshole. Cheers.
I said
to
it
that.
first. Yeah.
Kudos to you for telling the truth.
Thank you.
I would say just be supportive. Try to understand what the significant other's going through. Try to be as attentive as possible. And that's funny I say that, because I have a very short attention span, and you know this. And so a lot of times, if you're telling me a story or talking to me, I tend to, my mind wanders off to other topics like Pinterest. Shout out to Pinterest. I love you.
Pinterest. What's up, Pinterest? Puppies.
So just be supportive, and I mean, and just be there, listen, just try to make things as less tense as possible. Be loving, I guess.
Yeah, and what's helped me in my journey and over this last almost 2 decades of entrepreneurship is the steadiness of you and your personality. So your personality and the way that you go about your life and the way you go about your business has allowed me to be more of a risk taker, right? And so I would say that, folks, make sure that you surround yourself with calming influences, people that are consistent are going to have. If you got chaos all around you, and in terms of the people that you surround yourself with, and then you're in this business world, it's not going to work. It's not going to be. You're not going to be as successful as you want to be, because you have to have an anchor. You got to have some stuff where you can go back to that brings you back to home and kind of takes you, steadies you, in those troubled waters, so to speak. Make sense?
Yes.
So, next question. Oh, sip time, by the way. Take a sip.
I need a refill.
What's your favorite drink?
Beer.
What kind of beer?
Beer.
What kind of beer, Homer?
I like craft beer. I like stouts, malty beers, saisons, Belgian.
We
triple.
sound like the boozy couple. You know that, right?
No, not really.
Like
I
you're the
think-
beer person and I'm the bourbon guy.
and I think we've evolved into those people.
Yeah.
Because remember when we first tried to drink a beer, and
I
we
do, and it
about
tastes like
gagged?
piss.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was,
Yeah.
What? You're a Universal student?
Wherever it was, it tastes
Was
like
it
piss.
San Diego?
Yeah. Yep.
Budweiserville or whatever.
Something.
But
Budweiser
yeah.
still tastes like piss to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't drink that
Yeah.
for anything.
You're a snob.
So, I mean, it is what it is.
I'll drink a Budweiser. Shout out to Bud. If y'all want to sponsor the podcast, I will drink Bud every day. I'm just saying.
I won't.
So I want to keep it real with folks out there, and dealing with someone like me is difficult. I get it. And I like to, sometimes I say like the monster. You know what I'm saying? Like it's dealing with the monster. So you've been married to the monster for
Yeah.
21 years. This entrepreneurship monster is a beast, right? It consumes me, and in some ways it's controlled my life in a lot of ways, right? And what has that been like for you? And one thing I'll be open and sharing with folks, like, and I share with people all the time, I came, I don't know, probably like 5 or 6 years into the entrepreneurship and going hardcore, just in it all the time. And you had pulled me aside and say, hey, look, who are you?
Yeah.
Like you're here, but you're not, you know?
So there was a time where I think you were experiencing a lot of success. Obviously, nice cars, nice clothes, nice vacations. But there's I think an arrogance and you really kind of almost worshipped yourself. That's how I felt. You kind of worshipped yourself. Like you were very, into your appearance, which you've always kind of been a little metrosexual. Is that even a term anymore?
I don't think so.
But yeah, I think so. Like you've always been into your appearance. You go to the barbershop once a week and you're always cut up and lined up, whatever. But I just kind of, there was a period of time where that kind of annoyed me. Like I just felt like you were self-absorbed. And obviously with success comes, maybe that arrogance comes with it, maybe you have to be that way in order to be successful. I'm not a business person, so I don't really know, but in my mind, I think that's kind of, you were always a little arrogant. Let's just put it that way. Because I'll be honest with you, all of my friends thought you were a complete douchebag when I first met you. They didn't like you. They thought he was.
Shout out to all your
they
old,
thought you were
old
so
friends.
arrogant.
I was
And
19.
they didn't like you, and everybody was just like, "Oh, you shouldn't date that guy," whatever. But I didn't listen to him, and I'm not friends with hardly any of those people anymore. So whatever. So, there was a period of time, yes, where you were really just kind of the success. I think kind of, I don't know if it got to your head, but it was a little irritating to me because you just were into yourself and always going to the gym 2-3 times a day. And
So that's something that I talk about rather frequently too. See, as an entrepreneur, it's a really lonely road, right?
Yeah.
And you have to believe in yourself, because there's no one else out there. You don't have a cheerleader. You've got no one out there that's saying, hey, you're awesome, go get it. So you have to tell yourself, I'm awesome every day, and keep it going when things are horrible, right? And so I think kind of what you're talking about is you get to the point to where, okay, you've been doing that to just keep yourself from darn near blowing your brains out, right? Because it's difficult. And then your success, all of a sudden, no, you're successful, and but you're still doing that. I'm still, but now it's on a whole nother level because you've got now the all the trappings that come along with that success. And so you pulled me aside and we talked and you told me how you felt about that, and it sucked. I'll be honest, guys, it sucked. But the lesson that I learned in that is, first of all, we have to be receptive to the people that are around us and love us, that care about us the most, whether we're poor or rich or whatever. And so I got a gut check at that time. So, okay, there's some changes that I need to make. I need to bring it back in line. And so again, this goes back to the point of having the right people in your life and support system that can check you. And like you've always checked me, and like my mother can check me. There's only 2 people. Don't nobody else out there try to check me. I'm just telling you right now. There's only 2 people that can check me. And then if you're smart, you listen and pay attention, because I think we're all on this journey to try to be the best person that we can. That we can be. We all are going to have our issues and times when we fall down and all that. But if we can learn from it and try to pick ourselves up and be better. And so, I thank you for that. So that's what you've been for me. Again, speaking to the audience, these are the people that you need in your life. So, this is an honest, open conversation, guys. So that's what Business and Bourbon is about, right? We want to make sure that we're all learning and we're sharing as a tribe. And so we share some of the good times, the bad times, so that we can all learn from it. So if there's anything I want people to get from this conversation, it is that surround yourself with the right people, have the right people out there that truly have your back. And I think what's been one of the things that helped us is, when we met, I had nothing, right?
You had what?
I had nothing, and neither did you.
Neither did I.
I had nothing, and you had $2. So you know what? The prospect of having nothing again, it ain't that big of a deal when you really think about it. And those people that are around you when you don't have anything.
Speak for yourself on that.
Okay.
So.
Well, I guess you guys will see. But the people that are around you when you didn't have anything, those are people that are there for the right reasons typically, and you can rely on for sound advice. So keep those people around, keep them in your area. So hey, sharing a little more with the audience, you have a favorite. God, you're so weird. You have a favorite movie genre. What's your favorite movie genre?
Horror.
Oh my God.
I love scary movies.
This woman loves horror
My
movies
nickname
and
at work
puppies.
is Creepy. Creepenstein.
Is it really?
It is. My buddy Carla calls me Creepy. She made me a label for my laptop, and it says Creepy on it.
Oh my God.
And guess what kind of music I listen to? Yes, horror movie music.
Who does that?
One of my favorite bands is Goblin. Look them up.
Nobody.
I went to their concert. Ronell, how was that concert? It was great, wasn't it?
First of all, no one's going to look up Goblin. And
Goblin, Goblin.
Don't look it up.
If you're not listening to Goblin, then you're not living.
So we have very eclectic music tastes. If you look at our personal library of music, we have everything from obviously Goblin to who's your favorite, your top 3 favorite rap groups?
Let's see. Kendrick Lamar.
MF
Doom.
That's not groups. Those aren't groups. Those are
Mobb
just acts.
Deep.
Okay, Mobb Deep. That would be, guys, if we had a wedding today, Mobb Deep would be our wedding music, right? That's our thing.
I don't know about that.
Come on. If we're going back,
maybe some Faith Evans,
Faith
Faith Evans is hip hop.
I don't do that.
Hip hop.
I don't do that.
Soul queen.
R&B stuff.
Well, she's hip hop R&B sort of.
All right.
She was.
Okay, so back to my original question. Your music choice.
Susie and the Banshees.
Oh, Jesus. You're losing my audience right now. Susie and the Banshees and Goblet. People are tuning out. Guys, I'm sorry. For the three of you that are still listening to the podcast, I apologize. Well, anyway, back to the hip hop acts. That's what I asked you for. Hip hop groups.
Tribe Called Quest.
Yes. Okay. All right. Kudos there. Who else?
Mobb Deep.
Yeah. One more. I asked you for 3 groups.
MF Doom.
That's not a group.
Slum Village.
There we go. Okay. Now you're done. All right. So she's not just creepy Melanie. She's hip hop creepy Melanie. So that's how we get down. So, guys, I want to leave you with a final just piece of advice. As a guy that's been down the road and in entrepreneurship and had the lows and had the highest of the highs, and I will continue to, because those of you that are entrepreneurs and business pros, you know that doesn't end. Because if you're not trying, if you're not trying for anything, then you're not going to. Obviously, you're not going to have those highs and lows. But like, who wants to live like that, man? So if you're listening to this podcast, it's because you're somebody that really wants to go out there and accomplish some great things. Well, guess what? On the road to accomplishing great things, you're going to also fail, and that's okay. That's all right. So what I want to stick with you guys is you have to have the right support system. You got to have people that are down for you, and that have your back when the chips are down, because they will be, best believe. And make sure they have more than $2, please. Make sure they have at least $5, not $2. So hey, Melly, obviously you listen to every episode of the podcast. Guys, she doesn't listen to every. This is the thing. She supports me, but I know she doesn't listen to every episode.
I've listened to most of them.
Okay, all right, cool. So then when we end the podcast, we end that. Well, how do we end the podcast?
We say, "Wow, thanks, Ronell, for having us as a guest." Woo!
Not
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Not exactly. I say, we out. But I believe that honor is yours today. So when we end the podcast, it's always a we out, and that's up to you today.
Peace out, snitches.
No, it's not peace out. It's we. Hey, I'm trying to trademark this. You're not helping me.
We out.
There it is. One more time.
We out, snitches.
No, I don't like that one.
We out. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Business and Bourbon Podcast. Please subscribe. And if you like us, give us a 5-star rating. If you don't, have another drink. Maybe you'll feel a little bit differently. If you'd like to check out our videos, you can go to businessandbourbon.tv. That's businessandbourbon.tv. In addition to that, we're currently touring the United States with our Business and Bourbon live show. It's a fantastic show where we do a whiskey education and we do some Q&A, and it's a great networking event as well. So if you'd like to attend one of our Business and Bourbon live events, you can go to businessandbourbon.live. Again, that's businessandbourbon.live. Thanks again for listening.